I've been in bed for 2 days with a 100.8-degree fever, a migraine from hell, and I have a bit of a runny nose too. So while I'm trying to get better by hopping myself up on all kinds of medication, let's kill some time by talking about my 10 favorite films from 2017. Number 10, Brigsby Bear. I went into this movie completely cold, and I suggest everyone else do the same, because this is one of the more unpredictable, original films I've seen this year. 5 minutes into the movie, I didn't know where this was gonna go, and then 5 minutes after that, I still didn't know where it was gonna go. Number 9, Battle of the Sexes. Not just a movie about the Battle of the Sexes tennis match, but also a story about where these two larger-than-life sports figures were at the start and ends of their careers and how those careers merged. Number 8, I, Tonya. What could have been just a forgettable TV movie of the week is an incredibly humanizing and darkly funny film which uses plenty of humor in this story of competitiveness, family and spousal abuse, and the sheer amount of bumbling idiocy behind the scenes of the Nancy Kerrigan incident. Number 7, War for the Planet of the Apes. The Apocalypse Now of Planet of the Apes movies. Not only is this the first in this trilogy that I've loved, but it's definitely one of the year's best for me. Boasting some of the best special effects I've ever seen, it's a movie that proves that a summer blockbuster can still be thought-provoking and hopeful. Number 6, The Lost City of Zed. Watching this movie was downright spiritual for me. It was like watching a lost new Hollywood film, something that would have been made had Heaven's Gate been a success. I felt while watching this like I did upon watching something like The Godfather or The Mission for the first time. The only reason that it's not higher on my list is that there's just some other movies that have simply stuck with me in the long run. But this was a film that was something I rarely see anymore. A true big screen powerful epic. Number 5, Good Time. Easily one of the more underrated films of the year. Good Time is a gritty, suspenseful, funny, raw film about one man's odyssey through New York to find the money he needs to post bail for his brother. Robert Pattinson plays a man who can think on his feet well enough to get out of one situation, which then opens up about 3 more problems for him to face. It's downright mesmerizing to see where everything in this movie leads. Number 4, Blade Runner 2049. Expanding upon the world introduced to us in Blade Runner, this new film shows a natural progression 30 years later and practically gives us a tour through everything in this movie's universe. It's a gorgeous film which moves its story forward, takes its time with its narrative, and earns some very heartfelt moments. Number 3, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. A film about very serious topics such as loss, abuse, rape, murder, suicide, and does so with brilliant dark comedy. It's about how your quest for closure can push you to find the answers you need, plus it gives us one of the best character arcs I've seen in a movie this year. Number 2, All the Money in the World. One of Ridley Scott's best movies in years, All the Money in the World, about the 1973 kidnapping of John Paul Getty III and the various means of negotiating that went into his release, shows wealth in its absolute bleakest form. All of the actors in the film are at the top of their game here. It's a suspenseful film with some very human moments, such as an interesting friendship that rises between Getty and one of his kidnappers. And my number 1 movie of the year, Detroit. Of all the movies I saw this year, this is the one that stuck with me the most. This movie is a true horror film. It is raw, punch to the gut, bleak, terrifying filmmaking. The movie revolves around the 1967 Detroit 12th Street riot and the Algiers Motel incident, and brings in all kinds of filmmaking techniques such as war films, gritty 70s horror films, courtroom dramas, and even bringing in a story about Motown. The movie is flat out disturbing, with Will Poulter playing one of the best villains I've seen in years. The movie is in-your-face claustrophobic and terrifying and does not let go. It's almost reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with its almost docudrama levels of horror. This is a movie that I'm sure is going to get overlooked come award season, but it deserves to be seen by way more people. And that's my list of the top 10 films of 2017. I could do something else now, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna go back to bed.